Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're checking out another older Gunpla kit here. This is the Gym Sniper. Recently we took a look at the Ground Gundam vs. Zaku 2 set from the HG 8th MS Team series. This is also from that same series, so I'm guessing it's going to be very similar. This is obviously of the Gym Sniper from that series. The reason why I picked this kit up years ago, this is one I've had in my backlog for a long time. The reason why I picked it up is that this kit also comes with a tiny little, like, I think it's like 1/1000 scale or something, 1/1200 scale model kit of the Apsalus 3 in here as well, which is the only model kit in existence from Bandai of anything related to the Apsalus. I would love if Bandai were to make some sort of new model kit version of the Apsalus at some point. I would really like if they were to bring back the HG Mechanics line and then make an Apsalus in that line. Would be really cool. But for the time being anyway, we're going to check out the Gym Sniper in this video and the Apsalus, but should be pretty interesting. It's an older one, so I don't have expectations too high. But it's a cool kit that comes with a lot of really nice accessories that might be at the very least good for kit bashing. So let's check it out for today's video. Alright, so first of all, I just want to say I love the box art on this one in particular, but this whole line all has some really great box art on it. The illustration style is really cool. This one in particular, you gotta love that. It's so cool with the Gym Sniper and then the Apsalus 3 there in the background. You can really see like some of the different effects there on the illustration that look really nice. So I like that a lot. It's a pretty thin box, and these aren't numbered as like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever in the line, but I think this is one of the later ones. The release year for this one, 1999. And then here on the bottom of the box, you can see what the kit is going to look like when it's all built and painted up. This is obviously a painted one with some nice pre-shading, everything on there actually. We got some text there in Japanese and then some detail images over here showing what's included, so some details about the main kit. And here's the weapons that you get. So like I was saying, great for kit bashing because you have a lot of weapons in here that you could donate to other kits if you wanted to. And then our 1/1200 scale version of the Apsalus 3 there. That's going to be pretty interesting as well. A couple other kits from the line, the Easy 8, which I don't think I have built, but the Goof Flight type I have built, and that was a pretty cool kit. Fortunately, we got a nice new version of that in the HGC lineup, but the old one, if you can get your hands on it, still pretty good. Over here, we've also got the list price for this one coming in at 1,000 yen, so a very affordable kit for sure. And actually, speaking of P-Bandai versions available, there is a P-Bandai HGC version of this that came out as well after Bandai made like kind of the revived version of the Ground Gundam and the Ground Gym from this series. We got a couple of variations, including a nice new version of this, which is available if you guys would prefer. It's certainly going to cost a little bit more, but obviously it's a much better kit overall. Here's what the instruction manual is going to look like on the front. A nice image there of the painted kit. On the back side, a couple of images of the same, the backside, and kind of like an action pose, sort of as it were, there with the sniper rifle. I don't think with the articulation that these kits have that it's going to actually be able to kneel, unfortunately. So if you want it to actually be like kneeling, firing the sniper rifle, probably going to take some modification. And we've got the color guide down here for the main kit and then also for the Apsalus 3. And we got a couple nice sample images of what the painted model is going to look like there for that, for your reference. On the inside, some more cool stuff here featuring some more information and details about the kit and the weaponry and everything. Some really cool imagery. Got some images from stills from the anime right there. And so that all looks really cool. Kind of nice to have all this extra kind of bonus material in the manual there, including some line art there of the Apsalus. That's pretty cool. And then we've just got our parts list and construction. So it's going to be pretty straightforward. And then the Apsalus construction, as you can see over here, it's just a couple of parts. So don't expect too much. It's going to be very simple, very small. But like I said, it's the only model kit of that we have, really. We do also have some foil stickers included here, mostly just for like a couple of markings and then for the visor of the gym, so not too much. Then we also have one of these cool half-round stickers here for the camera lens on the sniper rifle, so that's pretty awesome to have that included as well. Getting into the runners then, we are going to have some polycaps here in gray, PC 110. And then our A runner is in two colors. It's mostly dark green, but then we do have some clear pink down here for the beam sabers. And these are kind of interesting that rather than being like a solid toothpick style beam saber in like a solid color, they're solid clear pink. So it's actually the handle that you're going to need to mask and paint, which is much easier actually, to be honest. So it's nice that these are molded in clear pink. That's actually pretty cool. But then our B runner here is just going to be the rest of our dark green parts here for the kit: arms, legs, shoulders, head parts right there. Runners C1 and C2 are here in gray. This looks like we got like hand parts on there, a couple of joint parts, mostly weapons parts. It's got a bunch of weapons parts there. Runner C2 here has some more weapons parts on there as well. And then runner D, most importantly, here we have those parts for the Apsalus. There's the 2 main parts. There's a couple other parts in there, and also the parts for the sniper rifle right here. So really, really cool. These are all molded in gray here as well. So obviously for the Apsalus, it's going to take a little bit of painting to get that looking a little bit more color accurate, but that's it for the runners. Let's go ahead and check out the kit. All right, guys, and here is the kit all built up. And like we've seen recently, taking a look at the ground Gundam from this series of kits, it's going to have a ton of seam lines on there, and the articulation is going to be limited in some spots, but overall, actually not too bad a kit, and it looks good in terms of just like the overall proportion and the design. It's not really going to have the most detail, but then again, this mobile suit's just not a very detailed design in the first place, that with it also being a gym, a grunge suit. Overall, not too bad of an option if you wanted to have a gym sniper kit here in 1/44 scale. That and all of the awesome accessories that we have included with this. So let's go ahead and take a look at those here next. So for our hand options, we've got these holding hands here. These you can use with our beam sabers, which again have the handles molded together with the beams. So I would say it's definitely the better of the 2 options. If it's going to be all one piece, it's better to be all in clear pink. Easy to just mask that and then paint the handle in white. Other hand options, we have like one for each weapon. So I've just got them attached onto weapons. So it's kind of cool in that a lot of times on hands like this, when you want to switch weapons, you have to take the hand apart. In this case, you just swap the entire hand, as you have a one hand for each of the weapons, this being the machine gun here, of course. This part here on the top does fold back like that. The secondary handle is just a molded detail though that doesn't actually fold out there, unfortunately, but that looks pretty good. And of course, goes without saying, we've got seam lines on just pretty much everything. Just assume that everything has a seam line on it. Also got the bazooka here. Again, really nice detail on this one. I really like the design of it. Again, seam lines, and in particular, a bad one here, as you have a seam line going through the detail there for the ammunition clip here. And that's going to be pretty much impossible to remove that seam line. So what you're going to have to do if you want to get rid of that is just completely remake that detail in there, unfortunately. Then we got some pros and cons here for the features. So the con is that this handle here at the front doesn't move as it should. It would be good if it moves, so that you can rotate this handle forward a bit for getting this up over the shoulder. So that's kind of a shame. That said, it is kind of cool. This part here at the back actually slides back and forth, for like depending on how you have it rested on the shoulder like that, or if you have the arm extended, you can move that back so that this pad part here, and it is actually molded to seem like a sort of pad there, which is kind of cool. That's kind of interesting. That'll be able to rest on the shoulder. Again, pretty simple, straightforward design there for that one, but I like that weapon. And then we've got our sniper rifle here with that half circle sticker there in for the camera lens on it. The secondary handle on this one does rotate out to the side there like that. And for this hand part, for this trigger finger hand, it has a bent wrist so that you're able to hold it a bit better. So that's pretty nice. This one, of course, does have seam lines on that as well. And of course, just compared to the kit, it's going to be a pretty big size there, coming up to just about the same height as the torso, the top of the torso there. And then one more weapon here, but this one doesn't have a trigger finger hand for it. Well, it kind of does, as we do have the gray parts to make another trigger finger hand, but you just don't have the dark green backing part for the hand. But this one is actually one that you can hold with just the regular holding hand. If you see, it does have like a trigger kind of detail there on the handle, but it's not one that takes like a trigger finger hand, so you're just going to use this regular hand here for this one. And for this one, it doesn't really do anything. It's just kind of there like that. The front parts don't actually open like they do on the master grade, unfortunately. This one though, the handle does actually move back and forth though, so to get this up over the shoulder, you can bend that handle forward, so that's really nice. And then we've got one more hand option here for the left side. So aside from this holding hand, you do have this open kind of rifle support hand. But again, for this one too, we don't have enough backing pieces for the back of the hand, so you will have to swap that part when you swap the hand, unfortunately. Last couple of things here, we do also have the shield with that sticker on there. Kind of nice that the background of the sticker is in that dark green that matches the plastic pretty closely. Not quite, but this will attach just here onto the side of the arm right there. And this one can move a little bit in and out there like that. Like you could kind of rotate it and I don't know, maybe do, I don't know exactly what with that. I guess if you rotated it all the way around, you could have it like fully extended out like that if you wanted to be like using this as a like a melee weapon. something like that if you wanted to. But anyway, then, and last but absolutely not least, we've got our Apsalus 3. It's super cool. I wish that we had like a larger, more detailed model kit of this, but this being the only Apsalus model kit in existence, at least from Bandai anyway, not counting there are some like resin garage kits and stuff like that, but this is really, really cool. It doesn't have, as you can see like here on the bottom, there's a lot of nice detail there. There's no like molded 3mm hole or something to put this onto an action base, but you could very easily just drill out like one of these holes in there, and like one of those thruster details, just drill one of those out and make it a hole that you could plug this up onto an action base or something for displaying it. And if you look really close there's our really teeny tiny Zaku head kind of molded in there. There's not really much detail to it because it's just so small, but it does sort of resemble what looks to be like a tiny little Zaku head on there. But it's definitely a cool accessory, something that I'm glad that we got, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we will get a more proper model kit version of this at some point. I actually kind of prefer the Apsalus 1 design more than the Apsalus 3, but anyway, it would be nice to get a new model kit of that someday. As for the main kit here, just to go over where the rest of the stickers are, aside from that one there on the shield, we have similar ones here on the side of the legs right there, those little white triangles, and then a similar one right there on the chest. Also here in the chest vents, there's a dark gray sticker for each side that goes in that chest detail vent right there, just to make the inside of the vent be dark gray. To have a dark gray detail inside a dark green part, it's not really all that noticeable, so you could just omit that, honestly, if you didn't want to bother with the sticker on that. Then we have a sticker for the visor, no clear part unfortunately, but that sticker does work pretty nicely. You'll notice I do also have a sticker there for the camera on the top of the head at the front and then at the back. Those aren't actually included stickers. I just cut those out of the sticker sheet and just kind of made my own. So you have enough kind of leftover green on the sticker sheet to just cut a couple of extra stickers for the head cameras if you want to. And otherwise, yeah, we're gonna have seam lines on everything, on the head, on the arm, on the shoulders, got a seam line on the top of there. The forearm, you got a seam line there, the thigh seam line, the lower leg seam line on the front and on the back, the feet seam line all the way through the middle of those, except for the top part, that's a separate piece that goes on the top of the foot. On the bottom of the feet, no detail there, just flat bottoms of the feet there, unfortunately. And so it is going to take a lot of seam line removal work to get this looking its best. And then you've got stuff like here at the elbow, that's just an exposed polycap joint there, unfortunately. I think that's the only one though. The one here at the knee, it's an actual plastic part, it's covering the polycaps and everything, so I think it's just there at the elbow. Oh, and one other kind of cool feature that this does have is that the cockpit sort of opens, as it were. You can pull this out, and it's not like a moving part necessarily, but you can kind of open that up like that, and there's a little bit of molded detail in there to sort of look like a pilot chair in there. So just kind of an interesting little bit of detail that you've got, which is pretty unusual for an HG kit especially. And as far as our articulation is going to be pretty limited here in like the midsection. There's no ab crunch or anything like that. And even the rotation is going to be pretty limited. The head is on a ball joint, so it should in theory move up and down a little bit, although as you can see it's like very, very, very slight, and just rotation there. At the shoulders, that's not going to swing forward and back or anything, and the shoulder armor doesn't even really move up and down all that much. You can bring the arm out to the side to about there is going to be about the limit of that. And then our rotation is going to be, I'll just take that off, rotation at the top of the elbow as he's kind of waving his arm there. And that single joint at the elbow, not even going to give you 90 degrees bend there, unfortunately. The hand is just on a straight peg, so it's just going to be able to rotate only. And then the front skirts are joined together, so those will lift up. And again, kind of limited there. The side skirt's the same thing. Those will lift up slightly. The back skirt is going to be fixed in place. Nothing moves here on the backpack. That's just kind of as is. And then the hips, of course, just a ball and socket joint, but you can get the legs pretty wide there. It looks like, even though this is like the max spread, as soon as I let go, it's going to kind of droop back down though, so it's not going to actually be able to hold that pose very well. And because the front skirt's kind of limited, you can only bring the leg up so far. But then we do have a double joint in the knee, which does give you a pretty good bend there at the knee, which is kind of nice. But then going down to the ankle, this ankle armor is not a separate piece that'll move on its own. It's just molded together with the lower leg. The knee part is a separate piece, but that doesn't actually move on this one. The foot is just on a ball joint, so it'll move a little bit up and down there, and then a little bit side to side, not too much. And then just to compare to the Gundam from the 8th MS Team HG series that we did previously review as the set with the Ground Gundam and the Zaku set, And it's kind of interesting how some of the parts are exactly the same. Like the feet are the same, the lower legs are almost the same, but like the knee part's a little bit different. The thighs basically the same, the arms are the same, but the shoulders a little bit different. If you look at the shoulders, they're almost exactly the same design, except on the Gundam, the seam line's right down the middle. And on the Gym Sniper, they moved the seam line kind of to the side, so it blends in a little bit better. So some kind of interesting changes, but the cool thing is too, is that all the weapons and accessories and everything should be compatible here as well. The shield is exactly the same. The backpack, I believe the backpacks should be swappable even as well. Yeah, looking at it here, it looks like those backpack holes are going to be identical. And so if you wanted to take the Gundam's backpack and attach it onto the Gym Sniper, you can do that. So pretty cool. All the weapons obviously are going to be the same. The hands are the same, just in terms of being able to hold those. So a lot of interchangeability between these kits too, which is nice. So there we have it. As we take a look at a few poses with this kit, there's definitely some pros and cons with this. I mean, it's obviously going to have some serious drawbacks in terms of its capabilities and its articulation. That is going to limit your posing options with this, and also it kind of goes without saying, I didn't mention this, but there is no way built onto the kit as it is to attach it onto an action base. You'll either have to use like the fork action base adapter, or you'll have to drill a hole in the waist section to be able to put it onto like a 3mm peg. But if you wanted to have it, jumping or flying or something like that, you're gonna have to do something to get it onto an action base. It's not really made for that, but even with the limitations of the articulation, you do have a lot of options in terms of the accessories with this kit, which is definitely a plus. Considering that the MSRP for this kit is only 1,000 yen, if you can get this kit for anywhere near MSRP, which is like $8, if you can get anywhere for $8 to $12 around there, kind of give or take, I would definitely say it's worth it. If for nothing else, just for the accessories, then you've got all of these different weapon options that you can use for kit bashing. So basically think about it as like a weapon set that also comes with a Gym Sniper kit and a teeny tiny little Apsalus 3 in there as well. So definitely it's like you almost get it entirely for the accessories, I hate to say, but the base kit, I mean, is pretty nice. Like I said before, I think just overall the proportions and the details on it all looks pretty good. It's just gonna take a little bit of work, or a lot of work, to get it, looking its best with all those seam lines and everything. If you did want to fully paint the kit, it's going to take some time, but there is definitely a lot of potential with this kit, and I can definitely recommend it if you guys are a fan of the Gym Sniper and you wanted a 1/44 scale HD version. There is the P Bandai kit, of course, which is going to cost a lot more than 1,000 yen, but I would say it's probably worth paying that extra amount for that, just because it's not going to be such a hassle to remove all the seam lines and everything, and it's overall just going to be just a nicer kit overall. I mean, so if you can afford it, if you don't mind spending a little bit more money, that's definitely the one that I would recommend you to get if you can get your hands on it. But this kit is definitely not a bad option. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Is this one that you've built? Is this one that you've been hoping to build, or one that you have any interest in? Let me know in the comment section. And as always, guys, if you want to check out some more Gunpla for yourself, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. Got a bunch there on the site for you guys to check out. Of course, this one I don't think has been reprinted anytime recently, so we're definitely not going to have this kit, unfortunately, but lots of other cool stuff there on the site. And anyway, guys, thank you so much for all your support. Hope you enjoyed the video here today. As always, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like or making sure that you're subscribed while you're here, that would definitely help out, and I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, hope y'all have a great day. See y'all later. Bye, guys.